Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your home for the top stories making headlines in Israel every Monday to Thursday. Yes, it is time for the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. So let's dive right into it. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines, and we begin with news that this morning red alerts sounded in Gaza envelope areas as 3 rockets were fired from the Gaza Strip towards Israel. All 3 rockets landed in empty fields inside the strip, and no interceptions were done as per the procedure. Now, it is believed that these rockets were fired into response to the death of Palestinian Islamic Jihad leader Khader Adnan, who had died in Israeli custody where he had embarked on a hunger strike for 86 days. Palestinian factions have called this an assassination, and Israel is bracing for possible retaliatory attacks. Yesterday, we brought you the story that the US Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, is in Israel. He met yesterday with President Herzog and Prime Minister Netanyahu before addressing the Knesset. Now, yesterday afternoon, the Speaker addressed Israel's parliament in the Knesset. He spoke about the unbreakable bonds between the United States and the State of Israel and celebrated Israel's 75 years of independence. He reiterated that the United States will always stand with Israel and will continue to fund Israel militarily, especially as we face down the threat posed by Iran. The Speaker also said that there were frank conversations taking place in the White House about Israel's proposed judicial reforms, and said that there needs to be the necessary checks and balances in a democracy, but ultimately it is Israel who will decide on reforms. He also stated that they support a broad-based consensus, something that the Prime Minister also echoed in his comments. Now, the Speaker also said in his comments to the Knesset yet again that if the Biden administration does not invite Prime Minister Netanyahu to the White House or to visit on a state visit, he will do so in his capacity as Speaker. A couple of weeks ago, we brought you the story about the South African Rugby Union disinviting the Tel Aviv Heat from the Mzansi tournament that is scheduled to be played. Now, the Israeli Rugby Union took this to the World Rugby Union, who have ruled that the decision by Saru is not discriminatory. Now, this follows anti-Israel stakeholders in South Africa putting the pressure on SA Rugby, saying that blood will flow in the streets should the Tel Aviv Heat be invited to play there. Now, it must be noted that the South African Rugby Union did not consult with Israeli stakeholders like the Israeli Embassy in South Africa, as well as the Israeli Rugby Union and the Tel Aviv Heat. Now, BDS, who are the anti-Israel stakeholder known to put the pressure on Saru, are believed to be behind this decision. I would just like, as somebody who grew up in South Africa and witnessed the unifying power of sport, especially as we came through those dark years of apartheid, just to issue this warning to the World Rugby Union. Your decision is extremely discriminatory, sets a very, very bad precedent, brings politics into sports, especially when sports is all about building bridges. And we hope that they will reconsider this decision, which is very, very dangerous. And finally, I hope you have your tiaras ready. I most certainly do. I will be glued to my channel of choice, GB News, on Saturday for the historical coronation, the crowning of King Charles and Queen Camilla. Now, on Thursday, President Herzog and First Lady Michal Herzog are going to depart. They will be representing the State of Israel at the coronation. Now, the President is Shomer Shabbat. He keeps the Sabbath, and he and the First Lady will walk to Westminster Abbey from their residence close by. They will also meet with the Chief Rabbi of the United Kingdom and Commonwealth, Rabbi Mervis, who, by kind invitation of the King, will stay with the King at Clarence House in order to walk to Westminster Abbey in keeping with the traditions of Shabbat. The Chief Rabbi will also be giving a special prayer at the Abbey during the coronation. It is going to be a coronation that is inclusive of all faiths, and he has said that this is the greatest event to happen in decades. Meanwhile, the President and First Lady will attend a reception at Buckingham Palace on Thursday night for heads of state, and this will be the third time since becoming president that President Herzog will be meeting with King Charles. He met him first in his capacity as Prince Charles, Prince of Wales, and now he will be meeting him for the second time as king, the first being, unfortunately, at the funeral of the late Queen Elizabeth II. Meanwhile, 7,000 troops from all across the United Kingdom, some who have been brought in from deployment to places like Iraq, Afghanistan and Estonia, as well as Commonwealth troops from 40 countries, have been rehearsing for the big military parade to follow the coronation. It is going to be a wonderful spectacle indeed, and I can't wait for the crowns, the carriages, the horses, the ceremony, everything that the British are famous for, that pomp, circumstance and pageantry that you don't get in any other country. And that brings me to the end of today's edition of the Israel Brief. Don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. We have an excellent article on our website about the recent anti-Semitic cartoon published in the Guardian newspaper in the United Kingdom. We are also on our YouTube channel at the Israel Brief. Please like, share and subscribe by hitting that red subscribe button. We're on Twitter at layoftheland5 and we're on Facebook at Lottel Site. And I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief. Don't forget to join me again tomorrow for your top stories.